All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are taking a journey into one of Sri Lanka's most vital and absolutely beautiful nature reserves, Bundala National Park. And trust me, this place has a story to tell. But first, let me ask you this. Can you picture a place where thousands of brilliant pink flamingos and herds of majestic elephants actually share the same home? Well, the answer is Bundala. So how is that even possible? How can these two very different animals coexist? Well, it all starts with the landscape. You see, Bundala isn't just another park. It's a true wetland paradise. The park sits right on Sri Lanka's southern coast, in the Hambantota district. And what makes it so special isn't just one type of environment, but this incredible mix, a mosaic, as it's often called. Just imagine it. Salty marshes bleeding into sparkling lagoons, huge sand dunes rising up next to thorny scrub forests, all right there, touching the Indian Ocean. And this isn't some tiny little spot. We're talking 62 square kilometers. Now think about all that diversity we just mentioned packed into that area. It's this combination of size and varied habitats that makes it one of the most important nature reserves in the entire country, for sure. And, its importance goes way beyond Sri Lanka's borders. Bundala is recognized all over the world as a critical sanctuary for wildlife. And its history really shows us how it earned that reputation. You can actually see its journey to fame happen in stages. It all kicked off in 1969 when it was named a wildlife sanctuary. Then, by 1993, it got a major upgrade to a full-fledged national park. But the real game changer was in 2005, when UNESCO stepped in and designated it a biosphere reserve, putting it on the global map for conservation. And get this, even before that UNESCO title, Bundala became Sri Lanka's first ever Ramsar Wetland. So what does that mean? Basically, a Ramsar site is a wetland that is so ecologically important, the whole world agrees it needs to be protected. It's a huge deal, and a global shout-out to the park's vital role, especially as a safe haven for migrating birds. And speaking of birds, let's get to the really exciting part, meeting the park's wild inhabitants. This is where Bundala really comes alive. Okay, are you ready for this number? The park is a certified paradise for birdwatchers because it's home to more than 200 species. 200! That incredible number brings people from all over the planet, all hoping to catch a glimpse of who's in town. In fact, it's often described as a crucial sanctuary for these migratory birds. We're talking species that travel thousands of miles to spend their winter here. And the most famous of all are, of course, the iconic greater flamingos, who arrive in such massive flocks they can literally turn the lagoons pink. And it is not just about the birds, as amazing as they are. Alongside the flamingos, painted storks, and pelicans, you've got this whole other cast of characters running around. Elephants, of course, but also crocodiles, wild boar, and massive monitor lizards. It's a complete, thriving ecosystem where everybody's got a part to play. So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, I get it, it's incredible, but how can I actually see all this for myself? Well, let's talk about what it's actually like to visit Bundala. The classic way to do it is on a Jeep safari that lets you cover a ton of ground and gives you the best shot at spotting elephants and crocodiles. Bird watching, obviously, is a must-do. But for a change of pace, you can take guided nature walks, you can tour the lagoons on a boat, and, of course, you're going to want to have your camera ready for some amazing photos. Now, if you're thinking of planning a trip, listen up, because timing is everything. The absolute best window to visit is between November and April, and that's no coincidence. That's when all those migratory birds are in town. And here's a pro tip. For the best possible views and the best light for photos, you want to be in the park either super early in the morning or late in the afternoon. But, a place this special is also incredibly fragile. So for this last section, let's talk about the future of Bundala and the work that's being done to protect this precious gem. Protecting Bundala is a constant struggle. On one hand, you've got these major threats: habitat degradation, pollution from nearby areas, and invasive plants that try to choke out the native ones. But on the other hand, there is a dedicated fight back. Efforts are focused on restoring habitats, controlling that pollution, and promoting a kind of tourism that actually helps the park instead of hurting it. So who's doing all this crucial work? Well, it's not just one group. The long-term survival of a place like Bundala really depends on powerful teamwork, a collaboration between the local communities who call this area home and dedicated conservation organizations. It's a true partnership, and it has to be.
And that leaves us with this final, really important question. It isn't just about Bundala, it's about all the precious natural spaces on our planet. As visitors, as admirers, as global citizens, how do we make sure a paradise like this doesn't just survive, but actually thrives for generations to come? That's something for all of us to think about.